I'm Jared Thompson, band leader of Premium Blend. The name of the project is 38th in Postmodernism, and we wanted to add a different kind of visual component to the tunes that we recorded. So all of the songs in the movie are tunes that we've already recorded over the span of our 3 previous albums. So we took 10 tunes, picked 5 of those, and that's the soundtrack for this documentary that pretty much talks about the issues in 2020 that have been at the forefront of everybody's mind and attention. To be honest, to do it now, the Indianapolis Jazz Foundation gave us money to do a project. So we jumped at the opportunity to do it, and just thinking about a good hook to have. The concert's great, it's fun to play with our peers just because that hasn't been possible a lot this year. But we just wanted to add something a little extra to it, and so coming up with a concept that involved some musicians that weren't able to participate in Jazz Fest and other musicians and artists that aren't always under the umbrella of Jazz Fest, but they are a major component of the Indianapolis arts and culture scene and supporters of Jazz Fest and jazz musicians as well. So I wanted to get them involved as well. This project, for me, allowed me to step outside of my way of thinking as just a musician. It's packaging what I already know how to do and going a different route, a movie route. I've never done that before. The subject matter means a lot to me as well. There's a pandemic, there's social unrest, and a lot of marginalized communities are deeply affected. Everyone's deeply affected, but it's centered on how I identify myself or how others may identify me, and to bring in so many other people that bought the message that we wanted to portray and they were willing participants for it was really important. So just to be able to have that communal, collaborative vibe for this and it turned out the way that it did was just very fulfilling, and I think everyone enjoyed it. We got to play together, we got to rehearse and make some money. That was all those things are really important to especially artists right now.
Although 2020 has brought a lot of adversity to arts organizations in Indianapolis, the Indianapolis Jazz Foundation felt unwavering in its commitment to produce Indy Jazz Fest. We've pivoted maybe 3 or 4 or 5, 6 times and came up with the idea of doing commissions. One of those artists that we commissioned was Jared Thompson with his band Premium Blend, and he calls his body of work 38th in Postmodernism. This features a quartet with an additional 4 musicians, so it makes it an octet. It was filmed at the Cabaret by Jessica Weiss and recorded by Matt Weiss. And there's also a mini documentary that goes along with it by Daniel Arthur Jacobson. So it's kind of a mini documentary / concert all rolled into one. It just has a fantastic artistic statement. So without further ado, I hope you enjoy Jared Thompson and Premium Blend, 38th in Postmodernism.
I'm making mental notes as far as where to cue and how to cue today, so I will mess up. So we're just throwing that out there.
Not in terms of like, of course he has some singing parts on the record.
After the George Floyd thing, that found its way into a lot of people's mindsets. You know what I'm saying? They had to listen to us.
just what we're going through is just, it's crazy the fact that it's all happening at the same time. I think individually on its own, it would be startling and somewhat overwhelming, but the fact that like, all of this is coming to a head is really forcing America to look in the mirror.
Everything that was social injustice and the unrest, it's like, we've been telling y'all about this.
I thought, and with the Voting Rights Act, I thought we would be further along.
As far as me being a victim of systemic racism, I've been falsely arrested twice. You know, I was arrested for stealing a motorcycle in New York City. I've been held at gunpoint just because I'm standing at a subway trying to give my white girlfriend some money because they thought I was robbing her.
Been bad for a long time for a lot of people. This whole pandemic thing started sparking a conversation about who are the most vulnerable among us. We're realizing that, man, we really don't have a safety net.
We are at a point in society where the pushback is happening. Pushing back is the only way to do it.
this is a revolutionary period in our country's history and in our city's history as well.
I think we have always had people in our community that have been very active and have had that righteous anger. There is a perception of Indianapolis that I think we're finally starting to shed, and that is that we are a polite society that doesn't raise hell.
Every 20 years or so, you have like some kind of uprising or some kind of tension that's being released.
The uprising is the place where the artists thrive.
One of the greatest things that happens with uprising is people start realizing who they are and how they fit into the bigger picture of America and the world.
All the artists that we've ever respected, loved, looked up to, most of them made their big break during times just like these. Feel like you need to just be like MLK, Malcolm X with it, bro. And it's just like you can do whatever you want in terms of protest. Protesting is exactly that. It's doing what you want, bro. Like as opposed to what you're told. My art is my contribution. You either build or destroy. If you don't want to show up and destroy the system, then go and find something to build. If I can't stop the destruction that's happening around me, I can at least contribute to like the creation.
So many artists have been locked up in homes for so long. There's an aggression. My voice needs to be heard.
As artists, especially Naptown artists, this is not the time to be silent, you know? It's the time to write. And the music should have a certain tone to it. We need to hear truth. We need to hear truth to power in whatever way that you do it.
think as a black man, I have to consider like, okay, if I'm gaining a certain level of influence and a platform that's growing, and my people are suffering, I have to use that platform to speak on it.
The biggest question is the musical community, when can we get back performing? When can we get back doing your thing again? And for those of us who just love the feel of just being on the stage, I mean, this shit is terrifying.
Art is the foundation. We're the true history tellers, right? We're the orators. We're the ones that actually explain. I think we're the most necessary part, but I also think people need therapy, and I also think people need like community. And for me, it's been a movement into thinking about what healing looks like. And I'm really excited to see kind of like that switch.
There's going to be some huge measure of reconciliation in our voice. Reconciliation is going to have a sound.
How could you not be, man?
The optimism that you hear coming from me, in a way, it is one of my forms of protest.
You know, the pendulum's getting ready to swing the other way, so be optimistic. I think Americans are generally good people. We're like teenagers. We do something silly for a little while, but then we wise up and straighten up, and I have to be optimistic.
The more that we can produce as artists, I think the stronger chance we have in pushing the needle forward and keeping this conversation and changing things.
I just feel like the artists are the ones that really have the power. It's like we're the ones that bear the torches here. We're the ones that keep the engine running.
We're trying to evaluate what can we do besides put it in a poem and besides put it in a song. There has to be an and, right?
You make the soundtrack, the album's done, now put it on a speaker, turn it up, and get to work.
There's not a normal to return to, dog. That's what people don't understand. There isn't a normal to go back to.
Those who are creative are trying to define what reality is going to be, what this new is going to be.
But lately, within the last 4 years, it kind of like been a stronger sense of a renaissance. We're having our own Harlem Renaissance here in Indy.
What I hope is that we become just tighter, you know, just as a nation, as a musical community.
It's a complex story. How we come out on the other side, you know, is yet to be seen.